Understandable.
Just that kind of day. That kind of day. Okay. So, if you want to go to the quiz. So for question 3, and because I'm just assuming y'all are answering, 1 and 2 on your own.
Yeah.
My computer's slow right now.
Oh no.
Almost there.
I'm telling you, don't you just hate technology? You really do.
I'm gonna have to reboot and rejoin, guys. I'll see you in a minute.
Okay.
Yeah, I regularly think the Luddites were onto something when they destroyed the looms or the cotton gins.
Something. I don't know. It's crazy. So we'll get Raylene caught up. So what requirements must be checked when conducting a hypothesis test comparing 2 means with independent samples? So it's a random sample was drawn from each population. The mean formula is each group. And I think that's it, because it's not the mean is greater than 0, is it? No, it's equal to 0.
Yeah, it would. Yeah.
And the sample size must be the same for each group.
Well, that's impossible.
Is that true? Because that's where I got kind of messed up with doing the doing the things. I think the numbers didn't always match up.
No, yeah, the sample size doesn't matter, and that's one of the great things about this whole doing the mean is you could have an average of 5 people, even though that's a low number.
I'm sorry, I'm going to be right back.
Okay.
An average of 5 people is an average, and then an average of 5,000 people is an average.
Right.
And we're working with the average number, not the 5 number, not the 5 subject number or the 5,000 subject number, but the average.
Yep.
So yeah, no.
So it's only the first 2 then.
You're right. It's the first 2.
The test is so for 4. The test statistic for a hypothesis test comparing 2 means with independent samples is that's the t-score.
Correct.
I didn't say that with a lot of confidence, did I? But that is what I have marked.
Yeah.
Samples are independent if, and it's the second one, knowing which subject will be in group 1 tells you nothing about subjects will be in group 2.
Yep, I gleaned that from Sister Lemon's announcements.
Yep. So for the next 6 questions, use the data file dentist office bill. And that. Perform the hypothesis test to determine if the mean bill at the Idaho Falls office is less than the mean bill at the Rexburg office, which means it's the, mean 1 is equal to mean 2, and the alternative is mean 1 is less than mean 2. Use the level of significance of 0.10. So, so you want to know if the data from one office is less than the data from the other office.
Okay, so we need to open up our QIP, quantitative inference procedures, and the data file.
And this is a 2-sample test.
Yeah, 2-sample t-test, the 3rd tab.
Yep.
And I'm putting the column A as the Idaho Falls. Variable 1 is the Idaho Falls dentist office. wish there was an easier way to copy and paste this information, by the way.
Well, it's not that hard if you just click and drag. How are you doing it? Is that how you're doing it?
I'm doing Control C and then Control V, which is a keyboard shortcut for copy and paste.
Yep. Yeah. No, I know it.
Oh, okay.
I'm kind of a mouse girl, so I just kind of
Oh,
highlight it and copy it over.
well, maybe I'll try doing that.
So, okay. First question is, what is the degrees of freedom? So I have 37.996.
I have that as well.
Okay. My Excel's giving me nothing but fits.
No, we'll definitely, Raylene, catch you up before we let you go for the night to make sure you have all the right numbers.
Okay. What number are you at right now?
We're on 7, but what we've done so
Okay.
far is we've opened up the QIP, the quantitative
Right.
inference procedures spreadsheet, and we've opened up the data file, dentist's office bills.
When I got home and first turned on my computer, it came up and said it didn't recognize my Office account,
Ew.
For Office 365. And so I kind of redid it. Everything seemed fine. I rebooted then. And then just now, I don't know if there's still it doesn't think I have an account. I don't know.
Ew. That's not good.
Yeah.
What question are you guys on? I'm sorry, I missed out. On all of
Yeah.
Question
We're
7.
on, yeah, we're on 7, but I mean, because the first couple ones are really just questions, right? Like,
Okay.
Yeah.
what for question 3, what requirements must be checked when conducting a hypothesis test? And that's the first 2, sample, random sample, and it's normally distributed.
Okay, the first 2. Okay, and then number 4.
Question 4 is the T-score.
Okay. Yeah.
Question 5 is knowing which subject will be in group 1 tells you nothing about which subject with the subjects in group 2.
Okay.
And then question 6, you have to drop the dentist office bills data into the what's called two sample t-test spreadsheet.
Okay. Thank you for catching me up.
Sorry. So the next question is, so question 6, it was, what is the degrees of freedom?
Was that 120?
I'm sorry?
Was that 120 for 6?
No.
Oh.
No, the sample numbers are 20. Oh, put it into the
Oh, okay.
tab at the bottom, 2 sample t-test.
Oh.
Right. And then you have Rexburg is in column 1 and Idaho Falls is in column 2. And that makes a difference only because they're asking later specific about each one.
Oh, I put Idaho Falls in column 1.
I guess it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't
so-
really matter. Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter? Okay.
Raylene, are you caught up to us now also? Or are you still
Well, I'm pulling up stuff, but I've been I'm just sitting here at 7 while, because I've got my QIP up, but I don't have my the dentist office up yet.
okay? Should we go ahead as long as we promise not
Yeah,
to?
just keep going and then we'll go back.
Okay. Hey, let me, since the degrees of freedom came up, this I thought was interesting, and I don't know why this is. If you look at the sample numbers for the Idaho Falls dental office, there's 20, and then for Rexburg, there's 20 as well. So that's a total of 40 samples. But the degree of freedom, remember how the degree of freedom before was 1 less than the sample size? The degree of freedom is not quite exactly 1 per group.
Right.
So did anybody catch why that was?
Yeah, no, that's interesting. Yeah, because if you rounded to 38, I don't know.
Okay, if it doesn't matter, I'm not going to fill my brain with something that doesn't matter that much. I thought maybe I missed something. Okay, but if you guys didn't miss it, then I'm fine. Okay, so question 7. I'll go ahead and read that. What is the sample standard deviation for Rexburg? So I would go to cell G18, read the standard deviation as 206.637.
That's what I got.
Where I'm 20. I'm sorry. I'm looking at the wrong thing. 206.637.
Correct. And the test statistic I have a negative because I think I put my columns in different than some of you guys. My test statistic, the T is negative 0.434.
Correct.
Yeah. So do we put a negative for that one? Do we know?
I think the only difference is where you put the columns. If you put one group in column A instead of B, or you put
it says in the example though, let mu1 be the mean bill of the Idaho Falls office. So they want Idaho Falls to be in the column 1, I guess.
Okay. And then Rexburg in the second one.
Idaho Falls is 227.
Okay.
So
then I have the p-value as 0.6665.
Change the type of test.
So 0.667.
Gotta be less than.
Yeah,
Oh, it's only less than on this. Oh, that's right. It is.
yeah.
so I'm sorry. Are we using the negative 434 for that answer then?
I am. I'm going to go ahead and use the negative for now.
Okay.
I think both will be fine.
Yeah, I think you're right. And then the p-score, p-value.
And on that p-score thing, I recall that this is one of the indicators that makes the distribution, the student's t-distribution curve, either a two-tail or a one-tail. If it's one tail, we'll end up with this 0.333, and if it's two tails, it'll instantly double, and it'll be that 666 that you ended up with. So that might be worth, at least I like to remember it that way, kind of as a check.
Well, and do you check the p-score then with the applet?
I'm not, because I trusted the Excel sheet. We can real quick.
Well, so if the p-value is 0.33, let's see, 3332. So if it would be 333.
Yeah, 0.333.
333. So what's the correct decision based on this evidence? Okay, so the level of significance is 0.10, and our p-score is 0.33, so it's higher. We fail to reject.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I got.
I agree. Hey, by the way, and I went to the student's T probabilities curve, and I inputted this degree of freedom and at the bottom this t-score, and I shaded one side, and I indeed did get the p-value of 0.333.
Okay, thank you for checking that, Ed. Okay, suppose instead that you use the alternative hypothesis of it's not equal to. Okay, so if you go back and change it to not equal to.
Yeah, it's still high. It's at 0.666.
Okay, there you go. Yeah.
0.667, yeah, so it's still the same.
So it would be insufficient evidence.
Right, because we're rejecting it. So if you're rejecting it, it's insufficient. So we have insufficient evidence that the mean dentist bills between the two cities are different. We have insufficient evidence that the mean dentist bill between the two cities. It's different, right?
Well, okay. Since we're
Question.
the way I see it, since we're if we just use that formula, P is 0.667, and that's greater than the alpha of 0.1. If the P is high, keep the guy. So if we're keeping it, we're failing to reject. So just based on that alone, we're not rejecting, because the question was they're not equal. At least for question 11, they're not equal.
Mm-hmm.
So so we're based on this P, we're failing to reject.
Right. Which was the same as before.
Yeah.
It was still a high p-value. The question, my question is it that the insufficient evidence that the mean dentist bills between the two cities are different, or we have insufficient evidence that the mean dentist bills between two cities are the same?
Oh, you know what?
So it's insufficient both ways. So it's insufficient. So if it's not equal,
no, it looks to me
we
like
rejected it on both counts.
Yeah, because we want to, and then you state the alternative, right? Which would be the different.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they're different, right? Because it's like you state the alternative hypothesis when you reject the.
Right.
When you
Reject
fail to reject, sorry. Right? I don't know if I'm correct or not.
you know, maybe I'm reading this formula different, but it looks to me like we have sufficient evidence to prove that the null hypothesis is good enough to keep. And then also secondarily, if you look down at the confidence interval numbers, the H23 and the I23, in one of the videos,
the
we were
confidence
told,
intervals are the same.
well, we were told if 0 falls within the confidence intervals, then they're kind of considered to be the same number. We have to keep the null hypothesis as well. Or that they're statistically the same. Even though when you look at the mean dollar amount between the two, there's a difference by $28.
Mm-hmm.
Statistically speaking, they're the same. $28 is not a big enough amount when you're considering.
Right, it's statistically insignificant.
Yeah. So I think they're the same, statistically the same, and we have sufficient evidence based on the fact that the P is greater than the alpha. Did I explain that well, James?
I got confused, if I'm being honest. I think we have insufficient evidence that the mean dentist bills between the two cities are different.
Yeah,
That's that. I mean, that's how I feel too. Only because again, the p-value is higher than the alpha. So you're going to fail to reject then because it's a higher number. So if you fail to reject, it's because it's insufficient. It's insufficient. Again, I just need to read. And those were my question was just how are we wording it? So it's insufficient evidence that the mean dentist bill between the two cities are different. We have insufficient evidence that the mean dentist bill between the two cities are the same.
Yeah, so
Well,
when it's
okay.
Yeah, but it was not equal to.
Right. So the null was not equal to.
Yeah.
And it's different.
Yeah, so when the p-value is greater, we fail to reject the null hypothesis.
Right.
So we have insufficient evidence.
That the mean dentist bills between the two cities are different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 'cause we're stating that alternative hypothesis, right?
That's what I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so for now, we're going with the second one?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, good.
That was a lot of talk over wording, right? It's so frustrating.
It's
so
very
hard.
frustrating.
But
Very.
very necessary. Okay, so now the freshman dinners. I'm telling you, they do a lot of research on a lot of nonsense. I just want to say that. Why I hate statistics, because who cares if the freshmen are cooking for themselves? Seriously.
And all these PhDs in statistics, they have convinced people that they need to have jobs.
I guess. This is my best friend growing up. Her dad had a statistics company. Why they had to move out of New Jersey when I need them the most right now is beyond me. But
Exactly.
this data represents the number of times freshman students from Utah and Colorado cook their own dinner in a month. Let M1 represent the mean number of times a month a student from Colorado cooks, and let 2 be Utah. Okay. So it's the same.
Open that.
So Colorado goes in 1 and Utah goes in 2. Right? It's the same spreadsheet, just different date. And that's what I mean. Like this really, this is simple. It really is simple when you think about it. So I'm not sure why my head explodes all the time.
I keep getting corrupt data every time I download or re-download. I've downloaded the freshman one now 3 times.
Oh, man.
But it's not too many. I'm just going to type it in.
You know what? I just went to the top of the quiz, Raylene, and opened that one, and that one worked for me.
That's the one I'm using.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, I used the one that was in the question, and it came up as corrupt, too.
Yeah. So,
All right,
but
so Raylene, let us give you the numbers then.
when I do a preview, you know, when I do a view in my file manager, whatever. And so, okay, so what we were saying, so I'm going to start from here. Colorado is variable 1 and Utah is variable 2. Is that what we said?
Yes. So
All right.
in Colorado, do you want me to just give you the numbers in Colorado?
I can see them. I just can't pull up the file. 13,
Okay.
14, 7, 20, 17, 18, 11, 12, 21, 19. Okay. And then Utah, 20, 17, 19, 16, 18, 9, 17, 15, 19, 14, and 14. Okay. All right, I've at least got that. So I'm going to start catching up at this point, and then I'll go back with whoever wants to hang with me.
Perfect. Perfect.
Thank you. Okay.
You suspect the freshmen from Utah cooked dinner for themselves a different number of times than the freshmen. So it's a different. So it's a. So it's a not equal to, because it's not a less than or greater than, it's just a different.
Yeah, that sounds to me like the alternate hypothesis is it's different.
Mm-hmm.
So 12 is not equal to.
Right. And 13. I have negative 845.
Yes, that's what I have.
Yep.
See, I need y'all I just need y'all around me when I'm doing my test, because I know what I'm doing. I just can't seem to pull it together when it's test time. And the p-value
Whoops.
is
0.411.
Yep.
0.411. Yep.
That's what I see.
Decision, and it's the significance is 0.05. This is 0.41, so it's higher, so it's fail to regret.
Yeah.
I agree.
Determine the 95% confidence level. So
That's when we go to our T thing, right?
Well, no,
The confidence intervals.
Oh, okay.
all right, you can just put the 0.95 up in the confidence level, right?
Yeah, 0.95, and then you take the confidence intervals, you minus them, and then divide them.
So that's the part I think I'm missing. So walk me through that for a second.
So that one you would take the higher end, which is the confidence interval that's down at the bottom right-hand corner.
Uh-huh.
The 5.147 minus the negative 2.214. And then you divide that by 2.
Okay, so you take the higher bound minus the lower bound, and then divide by 2. Alright.
So I got negative 3.681.
yeah, I didn't get a negative, but I got those numbers.
Depends on where you put your.
Yeah.
Well, do you take the negative 5.147 and subtract 2214 and divide by 2?
Well, what I did in my calculator is I did the upper bound, and then I did the minus sign, and then in parentheses, I put the negative 5.147, and that automatically, multiplying a negative and a negative automatically make a positive. So the calculator did it just by itself.
Right.
But I used the parentheses in the calculator.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, I have which is kind of weird because the lower bound is on the left, right? So for me, on the spreadsheet, it says negative 5.147.
Yeah.
So
Minus
higher bound.
2214, right? And then that answer is divided by 2.
But if you're taking the 2.21, because you take the higher bound minus the lower bound.
So I did it backwards.
Negative 1.4665 I have. Am I wrong on that?
Yeah, that doesn't sound right.
So you take the higher bound, which is 2.214. That's our number, right?
Uh-huh.
And you minus 5.147.
I just did it in Excel. I took column J and just said subtract these 2 and divide by 2, and because that's what Sister Lemon did when she kind of gave me some tutoring Monday night. She's like, I just made a new box in J next to the confidence interval and called it margin of error and just did an Excel formula equals sum of H minus I, and you get the divided by 2.
And what did you get?
Yeah.
3.681.
Yeah, because I have that number both on the Excel spreadsheet and in the calculator, so I think that's probably the right number.
Is that for the question 16?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's negative 6.255.
No, did you divide by 2?
So I did equal sign.
Equals the sum of I-23 minus H-23, close parentheses, divide by 2.
Okay, so
Is that right, you guys? I'm hearing silence.
That sounds right to me.
So on every QIP, I have the formula for margin of error.
I'm still coming up with the same thing. Why am I not
Oh,
doing
that is a great idea. Make it permanent.
The one that did it, and so I was like, that's what I'm going to do.
So do you have in parentheses I-23
Yes.
minus H-23
Close parentheses, divide by 2. And so she showed me her screen. She goes, this is what I've done on mine.
3.681.
Correct.
3.681, yeah.
So determine the margin of error for this 95% confidence. So, okay. That's where that's going to come from. .681, we're saying.
And then it wants the lower bound and the upper bound, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Negative 5.147.
5.147.
And
I think I might have mine switched around. Is the lower bound the negative 2.214?
no.
That's the upper bound.
Yeah.
That's the upper bound.
Oh, okay. The upper bound then is a positive of that?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh.
So you want to do, yeah, because column A should have been Colorado and column B should have been Utah.
I did a straight copy and paste. That's what I did.
Yeah, and I left my variable 1, variable 2, and then wrote Colorado and Utah above that, just so I didn't get confused.
That's smart.
Because everywhere else in the spreadsheet it says variable 1 and variable 2, but at least if I want to know which one it is, then right above that I say what it is
No, that's smart.
on A and B.
I got 100%.
I just submitted too, so. 2111.
Well, and I need to kind of double check my answers with you guys on the top.
Right.
Go ahead.
Okay, so on 6, I have 37.996.
7.996, yes.
Okay, and then 7, 206.637.
Yes.
Correct.
And then 8, negative 0.434.
Yep.
Correct.
And then 9.333.
Yep.
Correct.
And 10, I didn't mark this one. Now I don't remember.
That's fail to reject.
Okay. And then 11 was the second one.
Yep.
And then we did 12 through 18 together already.
Yep.
Okay. Guess it wasn't as much of a disaster as I was feeling.
I know, it just seems to go so much smoother when we're talking about.
Well, and that's what Sister Lemon said. I totally felt like I blew it last week on the homework quizzes. And so I just reached out to her and said, you know, I'm really struggling. And so she gets on there, she helps me, and, you know, she kind of talks through, but then I do it and I'm like, is it that? And she's like, yeah. And then I go through and do it. Is it that? Yeah. And I'm like, why is she standing there except being my cheerleader? Something about doing it together. And that's what she said is a lot of it isn't about that. It's about kind of doing it and getting the confidence and the support from everyone else that's doing it to go, okay, yes, we're all. And I was like, you know, that really is the feeling that you get. And,
Right.
you know, well, thanks, guys.
Absolutely.
Is it next Tuesday that we have the exam review with the TA?
Oh, that's right.
It's the 27th. The 27th, yes.
And that's 7
Although,
Or is
Idaho.
that Monday? What? I'm not looking at a calendar.
no, it's Monday. It's Tuesday, the 27th.
Okay.
Does Sister Lemon have a video like she did last time? Have you guys seen?
I haven't seen anything.
I'm praying. I'm praying
I'm
hard
sure she will.
because
We're getting recorded, just so you know.
yes, I know, because I haven't stopped the recording yet. I'm hoping she'll read it, she'll see it, and she'll say, all right, I'll put one together. So Sister
Yes.
Lemon, when you're watching this, put one together, please.
Yes.
And then it's at, well, for me, because I'm in Tampa, it's 9 o'clock because she said 7
It's
o'clock.
9 o'clock. Yep, 9
Yeah.
o'clock all the time.
And then our exam 2 is due March 1. Is that correct? The Thursday?
I think
It ends March 3rd.
It
Third.
ends on the 3rd.
We
Yes,
have
I think it opens. I think it opens on the
Oh,
1st.
okay. Gotcha. Okay. I just wanted to review that. Okay. When I
Yep,
like, oh my goodness, because I start my new job on Monday, so that's going to be like crazy. And
for
I
you.
was thinking, yeah, so all right, that gives me a little bit. I'm a little stressed about that. Okay.
All right, I'm stopping the broadcast.